Um...
Go on, dear.
But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Yulmore to look? 'Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Forthry's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Yulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which you placed great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor, who will serve only... No longer can we think of ourselves as divided. The systems put in place by Lord Forthry must be undone. But even as we tear down the old, whatever the answer may be, it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all... However, there can be no talk. Securing new sources of food, rebuilding... Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well. But we must accept this much we owe to ourselves, and once we have shored up our city's foundations, and until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other
Sorry to keep you waiting. I've carried out the treatment as per Master Matoya's instructions. It should slow... But tell me, how far up...
So this Becklug's the first to lead an authority on soulcraft, are they? Sounds...
And Urianger's proffered solution of white auracite is rather ingenious now that I think. Well, while they press on with their preparations, you may rest assured we will continue to do our part here.
Oh, you're back. And none the worse for wear, I see.
Estinian! Oh, thank the gods! We've been worried...
The situation in Garlemald has become more complicated. I was making my escape from the capital when I ran into one of yours, Riol. He thought it best we come straight here.
More complicated how?
Where to begin? After entering the Empire via Razat Han, I went about my mission. It was then, inside a provincial factory, that our goals being apparently aligned, we joined forces and ventured on into the heart of the capital, to the very Imperial Palace itself. There, we found a man whom all assumed. But his soul lives on. And he has wrested back his flesh. Xenos Ye Galvas. Nor did the surprises end there. For no sooner had we arrived than he murdered his sire in cold blood. The Emperor is dead. What's wrong?
you're right.
Peer into my past, did you?
Well, I didn't quite relive the experience as you did, but I bore witness to it all.
I'm still not sure what I think of this gift of yours. Our confrontation was cut short when the Imperial Guard arrived. It was then that Xeno...
To think their research into the Echo could bear such fruit. Escaping death, jumping from one body to the next, and returning to his own after all this time.
It beggars belief, aye. But no more than hero traverse. My concerns are far more prosaic. With the Emperor dead and the Crown Prince missing. Until order is restored, assuming it even possible, we needn't fear an Imperial reprisal. Riol has already gone to apprise the Alliance leaders of these
Then perhaps we have seen the last of the fighting at Gimlet. I'd nearly forgotten to ask. What became of Guy?
That he did, but we parted ways shortly after leaving Garlemald. He claimed he didn't elaborate, but the absence of some device or other in the capital gave him reason to believe their plannings. Lest you worry, I believe he has well and truly shed the Black Wolf's pelt. Conquest is no longer his objective. We may say...
Well, it's nice to have one less foe to worry about, even if we do have a mysterious new threat to look... Speaking of which, I'll see that Riol and our shinobi are made aware, though we still know next to nothing.
Well then, with Black Rose nipped in the bud, I believe...
That's true, but with the Archon still slumbering away...
Sorry, but I'm not inclined to extend my contract. Gaius isn't the...
Thank you for your help then, Estinian. I see why Alf...
Farewell, my friend. See that you don't make a habit of...
I suppose we should all be getting on then. As ever, we will see to the Archon's needs. In the meantime, why not get some rest? You've more than earned it.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the... Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid... I trust you two require no
We meet again, hero of Vale. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of...
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more... We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside...
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your app. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Z. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation The Empire is developing a new Ultima.
What, that Allagan monstrosity? Created to vanquish primals? With...
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial...
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano.
Indeed. Few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Van... Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress. So...
And right glad are we that you did. Though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might...
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a... Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, but the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you...
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days, but it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all, even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even...
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in. I only hope you are not forced.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire, with the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have...
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without an ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that...
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within Horus.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto...
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. Whatever it takes, I will see.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fell.
No. I had hoped to speak. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless...
Perhaps I might accompany you, though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the exile.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before...
By himself? Certainly it is no light one.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it. So I says to him, "Who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?" And he says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it.
A warrior of... Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is...
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for...
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystera?
Forgive me. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you...
Take your time.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is... Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once... It is for this reason that I seek your... Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is... He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had... It was as if he had peered into the future, and for the... Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my present... Is that so? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at... This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his...
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion...
They would be more inclined to take the word.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak?
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they
gave everything to stop the flood. First they... And they managed it too. In the end. They saved us.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air. Impossible. I definitely see something.
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but...
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of...
People of the Crystarium! I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a...
That's impossible. You should be...
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. The hero who stands before you now, the Warrior of Darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must... But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now the time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you.
What? Us?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a... But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I... Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts,
Go. I will stay here and...
So, that is a warrior of light of the I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he...
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no...
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am... which leaveth but one plot.
That he is an Assi.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to... From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the Virtues. And if one...
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably...
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emmett, is quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen. My...
Verily. For they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term the... Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Ninfit. On that occasion I myself remained ignorant of his coming until it was only at a later juncture when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh that I was final. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the
And they have gained much by it. Emmett Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to... Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap...
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what...
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of... Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call...
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self... I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or... Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove... Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he... And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only and I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we...
His performance appears to have concluded.
'Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and